Are you a teacher who has a classroom full of students who are constantly asking for extensions on assignments? Is it overwhelming for you to remember who asked for an extension, what assignment they wanted it for, and what reason they gave? What I'm going to do today is showcase how you can quickly create a Power Automate approval flow for you to use within a Microsoft team. Hi, I'm Helen Devlin. I'm a trainer here at Pragmatic Works, but prior to this, I was in education for 9 years. So what I want to do today is showcase, I think, something that will be helpful for teachers. If you're not a teacher, you can still follow along with these steps to create an approval flow to use from within a Microsoft team for whatever industry. To get started, we want to make sure whatever team we want to run this flow from has Power Automate enabled. To do that, I'm going to go to Microsoft Teams. I'm going to go to the channel that I want. So I'm going to use my first period English assignments channel. I'm going to come up here to this plus, and I'm going to add workflows and save. Perfect. Now that's ready for when the flow is built and ready to run. To build the flow, I'm going to go to make.powerautomate.com, and I want to make sure that I'm in my company default environment. Of course, you can make this from whatever environment you want and export it, import it later. Create. With Power Automate, there are 3 different types of cloud flows and different triggers to start them. And if you're interested in knowing more about the different types of cloud flows and their different triggers, please check out our Power Automate Beginner to Pro series here on YouTube. For today's example, we are going to do an instant cloud flow. And I'm going to name this my assignment extension, and I'm going to manually trigger a flow and create. Once my student manually triggers the flow, I want them to input some information such as maybe their name, the assignment they want the extension for, the reason they need the extension, the date of the request, and their school email address. So that way the results of the approval can get sent directly to them. Click on manually trigger flow, and I'm going to add an input. There are a lot of different types of user inputs you can use, but for their name, the assignment name, and for the reason, I'm going to use text. So I'm going to click text. I'm going to change this to student name, add input, text, assignment name, add input, text, reason for request. For the date of request, I'm going to use a date type. I'm going to change this to say date of request, add an input, and this will be for their email address. Now it says email, and that's fine, but I really want it to be explicit that I need their school email and not their personal email. So I'm going to put school email. Now I want to add an action after the trigger to start the approval. So I'm going to click this plus here. And from here, I can search for the action I want, but approvals is a pretty popular one. So it's just right here. The one I want is start and wait for an approval. With a start and wait for an approval, there are a few approval types. There's approve, reject, everyone must approve. But for my scenario today, I'm going to do approve, reject, first to respond, because in this concept, I have just one teacher who's granting the extension for the students in their class. Here is where you have the title. This is how the email is going to come in, or the message in Teams. For this, I want to use some dynamic content such as student name has requested an extension for assignment name. To do that, I'm going to click this little lightning bolt. The dynamic content I want is from the trigger, but I'm not seeing it. So I need to click see more. And now I'm going to do student name has requested an extension for lightning bolt, see more, assignment name. Perfect. And then for the assign to, I'm going to assign it to myself. I'm in a student account right now, so it's going to look a little crazy, but I'm going to do lab 1. The details, this is going to be the body of your message, and it has markdown supported. That means you can use markdown to designate a title, underline text, italicized text, whatever you want. For this, I'm going to use the hashtag to designate a title, or as I know it, the pound symbol. I hope that's not showing my age there. Please review following information. And for bold text, you're going to use 2 asterisks. So I'm gonna do student name in bold, and then I'm gonna use some dynamic content. Student name. Again, I want this to be bold. I'm gonna do assignment name, dynamic content. Reason for request. This is the important one, because we want to know why we should be granting this extension. Then I'm also going to include the date, because I have this idea that maybe I want to have a couple options for how to set the new due date. I want to use the data request. Perfect. So with an approval, you have to follow it with a condition. So I'm going to click this plus here, select control, condition. And for this condition, I want the value to be dynamic from the approval. So I'm going to click the lightning bolt, and I'm going to choose the outcome. And I want the outcome equal to approve. And I know you think it would be approved, but it's not. It's approve with a capital A. With a condition, I have the true false branch. True is what happens if the request is approved. So let's start with that. I'm going to come over here to where it says true, and I'll click this plus. And I want to use my Microsoft Teams connector. And what I want to do is post message in a chat or channel. For this, you can choose to post as Flowbot or yourself. I'm going to choose to post as Flowbot, so that way it creates a separate thread with my student. And I'm going to post in a chat with Flowbot. I don't want to post in a channel or group chat. I don't need my students to know each other's business. For the recipient, I want to use some dynamic content from the trigger. So to do that, I need to click switch to advanced mode. Now I can click my lightning bolt, see more, school email, and the message. This is what's going to show up in their chat. Your request for an extension on, I'm going to do some dynamic content. Again, assignment name was approved. Maybe for approved, I want to make it bold. Maybe I want to make it green. That looks good. Your new due date is, and here's where I have a couple options for how I want to do this. If you want to actually decide based on the assignment, based on the student, based on the reason, what the new due date is, you can use the comments from your approval. And to do that, I'm going to click dynamic content, and I'm going to pick from the start and wait for an approval. And the one I want is responses comments, which I'm not seeing. So I'm going to have to click see more. And there it is, responses comments. Now it says responses comments because if you remember when we chose approve reject first to respond, there was the option approve reject everyone responds. Because of this, it's going to be responses comments. And once I choose this, it's going to put this in a for each loop. Because if I did have a situation where multiple people had to approve, it has to go and collect the comments from each approval. So there's my for each loop, and that looks good. The other idea I have is maybe you don't want to have to decide every time what the new due date is going to be. Maybe you want it to calculate something for you. And that is absolutely something we can do using variables. What I'm going to do is in my message, I'm going to put your new due date is, and I'm going to do in parentheses variables. So you can see how it shows up differently in our message. Now I need to go create that variable. To do that, I'm going to go back up to my trigger and add an action underneath called initialize variable. So I'm going to search for variable. And there's my initialized variable. Here, to name my variable, I'm going to use a naming convention that we use here at Pragmatic Works, and I'm going to call it var due date. But you can name your variable whatever you like. For the type, I'm going to do string, and I'm going to leave the value blank for now. Now back over here in my true branch, I'm going to add another action called set variable. And I'm going to choose my var due date variable. For the value, I'm going to write an expression that's going to calculate a new due date for me. And to do that, I need to click this little FX here. The formula I want to use is called add days. With the add days, I have two options that I'm going to do. The first one is I'm going to use something called UTC now, which is going to use today's date. I'm going to type UTC now. After that, you need to add a comma and how many days you want to add. For this one, I'm going to do 7 days because my idea is that if you're approving this on a weekday and you want the new due date to also be on a weekday, 7 days is probably safe. After this, you need to say how you want the date formatted. And to do that, you need to wrap it in single quotations. To format it, I need to do in uppercase M to show that I want the 2-digit month, 2 lowercase dd's to show that I want the 2-digit date, 4-digit year with 4 lowercase y's. So now I'll click add. Another option you can do is using the date from the trigger. So I will show another expression using that trigger date. Again, I'm going to click my FX. I'm going to again use the add days. For this one, I want to use some dynamic content. So I need to switch over to dynamic content. And this is from the trigger. Need to see more. Date of request. And for this one, to show the difference, I'm going to do a different amount of days. I'm going to do 5. And then again, I'm going to show how I want my date formatted. Perfect. Now that I've set that variable, I need to go include it in my message. So I'm gonna go back to post message in a chat or channel. Here, I will click the lightning bolt and choose my var due date. This flow is almost done and ready to use. What we need to do next is add something in the false branch. I'm gonna come over here and add, again, I'm going to use Microsoft Teams, post message in a chat or channel, post in a chat with Flowbot. For this one, again, you have to switch to advanced mode to get that dynamic content. Full email. For this one, I'm going to say your request for an extension on, again, dynamic content. Assignment name was not approved. Please submit your assignment on its original due date. I think I'll bold this as well. And since the other one was green, I'll make this one red. Again, I could do responses, comments here, but I think this is good. So now I'm done with this flow and I'm gonna hit save. Best practice is to test your flow, but for this, I'm just gonna show you how to attach it to the Microsoft team and I'm gonna run it from there. All right, my flow is ready to go. I'm going to press back. And this brings me to the details page for my flow. This is where I'm going to attach the Microsoft team I want to use by coming over to this run only users. Run only users is, as the name suggests, these are users who are only allowed to run the flow, not edit it. So I'm gonna click edit. And for invite users or group, I'm going to use that first period English. There it is. And I need to switch the approvals to use this connection. Okay. And Microsoft Teams, use this connection. Okay. And save. There you go. That flow is now attached to that Microsoft team. Let's go check out how it all works together. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into one of my students' Microsoft Teams account and run the flow and request an extension for one of my assignments. Here I am inside of my students' Microsoft Teams account. I'm in my first period English team on the assignments channel. I'm gonna click over on the Power Automate tab. And there's my assignment extension flow. And to run it, I'm just gonna click this play button. I'm gonna type in my name, Liz Lemon. That's my student's name. For the assignment name, I'm gonna do essay about my hero. Reason for request, I'm gonna say cat ate my homework. Data request, I'm gonna pick today. And school email, again, I'm using one of our student accounts here, so it's gonna be kind of funny. There we go, run flow. Now I'm gonna go back over to my teacher account and see what it looks like on the teacher side of things. Now that approval will show up in your Microsoft Teams account as well as in your Outlook inbox. And you can approve it from either one. So I can approve it from here. Let's check out how it looks in my inbox. There it is, okay. This is how it looks in my inbox. Please review the following information. Liz Lemon, assignment name. I'm going to approve this. So since the other one's adding 7 days and the other one's adding 5, I'm just going to do tomorrow for this one so we can see how it shows up differently. Submit. Now let's go back over to the student account and see what it looks like from there. There's my chat. Your request for an extension on essay about my hero was approved. Your new due date is 3/6. That's the one from the comment. But here are the ones using those expressions. Your new due date is 3/12 or 3/10. So my expressions work. It just depends which one you want to use. Do you want to use the comments, the expression, UTC now, trigger date? Let me know in the comments which one you liked better. That's how it all comes together. That's how it all works. And I hope you guys found that helpful. Typically, I would probably add a couple more actions in that flow to back this up to a data source. So that way you have a nice log of everything. And if this is something that interests you, if Power Automate is something you'd like to continue with, be sure to check out our Power Automate courses on our on-demand learning platform. And I hope to see you guys again soon.